It was a house that looked like any other on Willow Lane. White siding, blue shutters, a neat lawn trimmed by a father who loved appearances. From the outside, the Hensley home seemed like a place where nothing bad could happen. Yet behind its locked doors, a nightmare unfolded that would forever stain the neighborhood with whispers of horror. Michael and Laura Hensley had been the kind of couple people envied. They married young, built a home together, and had 2 children who seemed to complete their perfect suburban dream. Ava, 9 years old, loved to draw pictures of houses and flowers, filling sketchbooks with cheerful colors. Caleb, only 6, was full of energy, chasing butterflies in the yard while his laughter echoed through the quiet cul-de-sac. To everyone who saw them, the Hensleys were normal. Stable. Happy. But the image of perfection was only surface deep. Michael, once a successful contractor, had suffered a crushing blow when his business collapsed. Months of financial stress ate away at him. His confidence shattered, his temper grew. Laura, who worked exhausting night shifts at the county hospital, often came home to arguments instead of comfort. The fights were private, but thin walls carry sound, and more than one neighbor admitted later to hearing raised voices through the night. On October 14th, the family went out for dinner. A waitress at the small diner just outside town remembered them well. The kids had ordered pancakes, unusual for dinner, and Laura had laughed at Caleb when he spilled syrup on his shirt. To the waitress, it looked like a happy family enjoying an ordinary evening. She would later tell police that there was nothing odd about them, nothing to suggest what was coming. They arrived home just before 9:30 p.m. A neighbor across the street saw them step out of the car. Laura carried a bag of leftovers, Ava clutched her stuffed rabbit, and Caleb ran ahead to open the front door. Moments later, the porch light went out. Curtains closed. The house fell into darkness. What happened next is still debated to this day. Around midnight, a single scream split the silence of the street. It was sharp, panicked, and then gone. One neighbor rolled over in bed, telling herself it must have been a dream. Another thought it could have been a television left on too loud. No one called for help. The next morning, the house was unnervingly quiet. The curtains remained drawn. The kids did not leave for school. Laura never showed up for her hospital shift. By noon, a worried coworker drove to the Hensley home, knocked on the door, and got no response. She called the police. Officers forced their way in through the front door. What they found inside was chaos. The living room showed the first signs: a toppled lamp, its light still burning, casting eerie shadows across the carpet. Blood stains smeared the floor. A shattered smartphone lay near the couch, its screen spiderwebbed from impact. The house smelled of copper, of fear, of something horribly wrong. Upstairs, the horror deepened. Laura was found in the hallway, her hands covered in blood, frozen in a final act of desperate defense. The children's bedroom revealed an even more chilling scene. Ava and Caleb lay side by side in their beds. Someone had tucked them in, pulling the blankets neatly to their chins, as if trying to erase the violence with a twisted act of care. But their stillness told the truth: there was no life left in them. Michael was gone. The immediate theory was simple: Michael had done it. The missing father, the financial stress, the marital fights, everything pointed to him. His wallet and keys were missing, and his truck was gone. A neighbor's security camera captured headlights pulling out of the driveway around 12:15 a.m. Police believed they were chasing a murderer on the run. But within days, cracks appeared in the theory. Blood at the scene contained an unidentified male DNA profile that did not belong to Michael. The truck was later discovered abandoned 30 miles away, with the keys still in the ignition. Witnesses along the highway reported seeing a man hitchhiking at dawn. His clothes were dirty, torn, and stained. One even claimed he was carrying a child's backpack. Investigators searched for Michael everywhere. His face appeared on the news, his name filled headlines, and the narrative was clear: fugitive father murders his family. But some weren't so sure. Detectives discovered that Laura had confided in a coworker weeks earlier. Someone had been following her. She found cryptic notes left on her windshield at the hospital parking lot. Late at night, she received silent phone calls, breathing on the other end before the line went dead. One note recovered from her purse chilled investigators: families fall apart one piece at a time. The search of the house uncovered something even darker. In the basement, behind old storage boxes, a hidden crawlspace was found. Inside, detectives discovered dozens of photographs of the Hensley family, taken from outside the house, through windows, at the playground, at the grocery store. Someone had been watching them for months. Among the items was a diary belonging to an unknown man. Its pages detailed the family's routines in obsessive detail: when Ava walked home from school, when Caleb played in the yard, when Laura left for work, and when Michael took out the trash. This revelation flipped the case upside down. Was Michael really the killer? Or had the family been victims of a stalker who had finally stepped out of the shadows? A voicemail retrieved from Michael's phone added another layer of mystery. Recorded at 11:58 p.m. on the night of the murders, his voice was filled with panic. "Laura, don't open the door. Please, don't, he's inside already." The message ended with a crash, and then silence. Some investigators now believed Michael had tried to fight off an intruder. Perhaps he was killed and taken. Perhaps he fled in fear, injured and traumatized, only to disappear forever. The unidentified DNA only fueled these suspicions, but it never matched anyone in national databases. Years passed. Tips dried up. Sightings of Michael came and went, each one investigated, none confirmed. Some said he lived homeless in another state. Others whispered he had been killed and buried near the house. On online forums, theories spread like wildfire. Some clung to the idea that Michael snapped and killed his family. Others pointed to the stalker as the real culprit, believing Michael had died a victim too. The house eventually sold, but new tenants complained of strange noises, shadows in the halls, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. One family moved out abruptly after discovering photographs of themselves tucked into the basement wall, eerily similar to the ones found years before. Today, the case remains unsolved. The file sits in cold case cabinets, reopened only when anniversaries spark renewed media interest. For Laura, Ava, and Caleb, justice has never come. For Michael, truth has never been uncovered. Whether he was a monster or another victim remains the question that divides everyone who studies the case. Behind locked doors, love had turned into screams, and a family never saw morning. And the man responsible, whether it was the father, the stalker, or someone else entirely, remains out there, hidden in the shadows of an ordinary town where nightmares can wear the mask of normalcy.